Hello everyone. Welcome back to another shenanigans-filled day of World of Warships Legends. I'm your host, Phoenix61. Make sure to subscribe, like, all that other garbage that everyone always tells you to do that you don't do, right? Anyway, yeah, so today we are in the Jervis. I think I was playing some games with this ship to grind through some of the like collections missions from like the past like week or so, right? And you needed to like either do so much damage or whatever have you with this ship. And I forget that these, especially at this tier, right, tier 6 in particular, because there's not too much out there as far as, a rivalry with the like tech package that you get here, which is gonna be the sonar and some pretty decent guns and these nice quick smoke screens, right? We are the ultimate destroyer hunter at this tier. Like, I don't know if that's true, right? But like, just watch us crush these guys, right? We've got a Sommers, right? We're gonna take a guest shot on the torps there. He's still pushing up on us, so I've got sonar going. We're gonna drop our smoke, and now we are invisible. Our sonar is picking him up. His smoke is not going to help him at all. The sonar's range is 3.5, and our firing guns in smoke penalty is 2.5. So he just got outside that 3.5, so we need to move up. Somebody else picks him up. I think the battleship came around the corner and spotted him. But there's that perfect teeny tiny bit of sweet spot that you want to be in while in your smoke. You want them to be between 2.5 kilometers and 3.5 kilometers, and then you're golden. So we're going to do the exact same thing to this Grom that's up here sitting in his smoke, except now it's his smoke that we're going to use. We've still got about a minute and a half left of our sonar, so I'm going to push up on him, and sure enough, there he is at 3.5. And then we're getting spotted because we're firing our guns and other things around us are picking us up, right? Probably that cruiser off to our left there. So as he's trying to run away, we can drop our smoke, sit in our smoke for a hot second here, right? He's moving away, so we're gonna need to keep pushing up to try and keep him within the 3.5 kilometers. And of course, we're just like before, we were getting help on the Sommers as well. I did see some allied ships try to help with this Grom, but now we've got his smoke between us and him and any other ships, and it's easy pickings. 2 of the 3 destroyers down within the first 3 minutes of the game. That is it. We have won this game. Hands down, our last remaining challenge is to get away from this Picardy because he's gonna have a secondary battery build, so we're gonna start there it comes, right? So we're gonna move away from him. We either need to get ducked around the corner here, or if our smoke comes back, or get our distance away, right? Because we had been firing our guns, so we've got a little bit of time to wait, right? The cruiser takes a shot at us as well, but yeah, we'll go ahead and cap this zone. But that is the importance of either A, staying alive as a destroyer in this game, right? Like, if you're outgunned or outmanned or too many boats, right, that you're up against, move away and try and fight again another day, right? But we stacked the advantages of the ship against both of those other destroyers, and they didn't stand a chance, right? So yeah, that's the key, is knowing when you're in trouble and getting away as soon as possible. But literally, this game's won, right? Somebody else finished off the 3rd destroyer. It's such easy pickings. Was the easiest game after that, right? And of course, you may run into the situation, right, where if like too many people are trying to shoot you, right? Like if you get teamed up on, right? Like, so same situation. When you run into it on the other side, move the frick away, survive. At best, like, even if you only have a few hit points left and you're a destroyer, you can still be very, very valuable by going out and keeping ships spotted for your allies. Like I'm going to do here, right? I was keeping that cruiser spotted, right? By moving up on him. And so the battleships behind me took him out, right? So you've got a couple of things that you can still do, right? You can still, if you're a torpedo boat, right? You can still be sneaky, send torpedoes here, right? Here and there. But go around cap zones and spot ships, right? At minimum, being alive, that's still a big value to your team. And I'm going to show you too, we're going to be at the, with only 20 some thousand damage, we are still at the top of the leaderboard easily, because XP is based on the percent amount of damage you do to each ship. So we took a lot of health from those 2 destroyers, probably the vast majority of it, especially the Grom too. And so we're at the top of the board. We also went around and capped zones too. We got what, 2, at least the 2 zone captures, right? So easy pickings, right? Getting rid of those destroyers early on makes for an easy win unless your team really wants to throw the game, right? So same exact thing here. Sonar and smoke combo is just lethal at this tier, right? You start getting up into the later tiers, you're gonna run into, you know, more cruisers with radar that just, you know, are gonna pick you, you know, like stuff like that, right? That's out there. So it's a little bit more challenging at the later tiers, but you can still do it, right? So Asashio, right, he's got a little bit better concealment than we do, so he spotted us before we spotted him. But we knew he was here, so we got our sonar going. And then we did the same thing. We're going to get in the smoke just to go, you know, we took a couple of gunshots at him. So anything that was within our gun firing radius, of course, would be able to spot us. And so we needed the smoke real quick to just get rid of that, right? So now we're free and clear, undetected. But if he's going to stick around, and right now it looks like he wasn't going to, because we're getting a free cap on the zone now. So it's possible our torpedoes flushed him out. But the only other thing I got to worry about right now is that cruiser, right? So, but we'll have smoke back pretty soon. We don't have to worry about being spotted by the planes, right? So that you can see the little plane symbol up toward the top right. Ships cannot lock onto you when it's just the plane spotting you, so you don't have to worry about getting shot, right? You do have to worry about maybe the plane dropping bombs on you, but so that's not bothering me right now. And then, yeah, so I'm keeping an eye on our locator, right? Our twist and track halo that's kind of right above our reticle. I'm just kind of trying to gauge if that's that Asashio or Akatsuki, whatever it was, that destroyer. And sure enough, it is. We're spotted. His concealment's a little bit better, so we get spotted before we spot him. But same thing here. We've still got about a minute and a half left. If we can get him within the 3.5 kilometers, and it looks like he's pushing up on us, so I already have hit reverse and smoke, and it looks like he's slowing down as well. He's going to try and turn for torpedoes. The problem there is, if you're getting spotted by sonar, you got to remember that your torpedoes are going to get spotted almost instantly as well, right? Because you know that the enemy ship's got sonar going, right? So just a matter of getting ourselves angled. We were anticipating the torpedoes coming, so I had already started turning before he even sent them. And then now we're going to push up because he's moving away. We want to try and keep him within the 3.5. He gets bomb dropped there as well by our carrier, and a couple more hits. Even if the smoke runs out here, I'm going to try and get him off the board. Perfect timing. We are still undetected. Here comes some more torpedoes. I think he's got torpedo reload booster, right? We'll send some torpedoes after this cruiser here and see if we get lucky. But again, use the tools at our disposal to just dominate that enemy destroyer, and then we are free to go and win the game, right? If we can be a smart destroyer player and not get ourselves caught in a bad situation, we can go around, cap zones, spot ships for our teammates, and send torpedoes at unsuspecting battleships, right? Like, so we're free and clear now. I don't even need this sonar anymore, right? So I'm going to move in the direction where I feel like I'm going to be most valuable, right? My team looks pretty stacked over on the ACAP side, right? There's what, four ships plus our carrier to like 2 enemies over there, 2 on the red team. So I'm going to go and try and see if I can be sneaky and support the C side, right? The C cap, the Charlie cap, whatever, the C spot, right, of the map. So I'm going to, I was like debating whether to go out this direction, because if I go out back into enemy territory, right, I'm going to spot all 3 of those battleships. There's also this cruiser chilling here, right? He probably knows it's me because, well, who else would it be spotting him, right? He probably knows it's somebody in B here. So he's going to smoke and he's going to move away. But I can use that smoke screen against them, right? Like, I'm like, all right, all of these ships look like they want to move through the sea cap. So let's head that direction and see if we can get some torpedoes through that zone. So we'll go up between the islands here and see what kind of havoc we can cause. But again, look, we're only at 11,000 damage with one base cap. And we're going to end up top of the leaderboard on XP again with a decent haul of credits yet again, right? So fun ship line to grind if you haven't done so already. I would say it does get a little bit more challenging up at the later tiers. You can still pull this off sometimes, but right, some of those later tiers, you're going to run into some pretty hefty gunboat destroyers, along with, you know, like German sonar that's going to be a little bit longer range than yours, right? So you can get, basically people can do the same thing that we're doing to them right now, right? But worse, right? Like, so they can do it to you and you can't do it to them, right? So, so you really have to, like, you know, if you run into that situation, you really got to either be really super aggressive or really super conservative, right? You got to push up onto them so that you get them within your sonar range as well, right? But anyway, so I'm hoping for some unsuspecting victims to be coming through here, right? The enemy cruiser dropped that smoke and might be helping us stay concealed, but of course now nothing is spotting any of these guys over there, right? We can get a cheap shot on the cruiser here to try and reset the cap though. That's also good for some XP and credit earnings as well. And we do have the sonar going again just because we had it ready, right? I wasn't sure, I'm pretty sure that cruiser has, you know, had torpedoes too, so I wasn't sure if he was going to send anything this way. But yeah, North Carolina, right, comes around the corner a little closer than I was suspecting, so we use our get out of jail free smoke, right, quickie smoke. And then, of course, since he fired his guns, he's still spotted even through the smoke, so we're able to get some easy hits on him to reset the cap even more. And then I'm going to move away, right? The smoke screen doesn't last that long, so we want to make sure we are going to be safe, right? Don't die, because that could, you know, with one destroyer, right? We're the last remaining destroyer, right? We're the only destroyer in the game now. Now we took care of the enemy one, right? We can, you know, we're a valuable asset, so we want to try and stay alive if we want the win. Now this game does go, we do get some momentum picking up here as my teammates from the A cap side cleaned up over there and are starting to head this way. We're gonna, at some point, just the firepower is gonna be a huge advantage to us. And so then you can go YOLO, guns a-blazing, which is what I typically like to do, right? Like, so if I know the game's won, I like to just kind of go and have fun with it, right? But North Carolina, looks like he's still coming around this way. I'm going to drop the smoke and send torpedoes where I suspect he might come through. I think he ends up turning, like, going quick and moving to his left, right? So closer to that island that's further away off our port side, right? So I think he manages to escape those torpedoes, but then once we spot him, he's going to be screwed. He's going to be way too close to us, right? Yeah, primal out there, right? We can just try and get some hits there. We've reset that zone enough over there that they still don't have it captured, even though there were 3 of their ships in it, right? So here's what I was talking about, right? We're going to be able to get an easy dump of torps on the North Carolina. He was shooting at the cruiser, so he doesn't have guns. Well, I guess he had the rear turret loaded for us there. But we can move around and get behind, get some island between us and him while those torpedoes do their work. So we are again free and clear. We'll damage con the engine damage, and we can start moving back, right? So kill number 2 there with a couple of torpedo hits. Now we have a little bit of a stomp situation happening, right? So we're gonna go and head towards C and be super duper annoying to these last 2 battleships while we do it. They did manage to get the zone though. That Fuso, I think, was hanging out far enough back that nobody was hitting him. So he probably did most of the work there. But of course now he is pretty, you know, he's pretty healthy, right? He's got a pretty big health pool. Both of these guys do, right? So I always say that too, if you get to this late stage in the game and you're a battleship with a lot of health, right, you probably didn't put yourself out there enough, right? You've got to kind of use your health pool as a resource somewhat, right? Don't be overly aggressive about it, right? But draw some fire here and there because that's drawing fire away from your potentially your cruisers and destroyers that are potentially supporting you, right? So help some of your allies survive a little longer, right? You're a battleship, you can take some of the hits, whereas your cruisers and destroyers really kind of can't. But yeah, we'll keep moving up. Like I said, at this point, it doesn't matter at all if we get spotted, so I'm just kind of wailing with the guns. We do have the land in between us and him, but I'm going to keep moving out. I'm not going to care if I get spotted here. If he wants to waste a salvo at us, that's fine. We also do have the smoke screen too, so if I'm one of those guys, I like to capitalize on earning XP to see where I, try and do my best on the leaderboard, right? And so we could drop the smoke here and then potentially have shots at both of these guys while we try and cap the zone as well. But yeah, this is going to get us up to, right? This is pretty decent guns on these things. 42,000 damage, most of it's probably guns, right? We only have the 2 torpedo hits on the North Carolina, right? So yeah, Primal is still spotted. Once the Fuso fires his guns, he's probably going to get spotted too, right? So we'll have both of these ships to shoot at. I'm just going to see if I can trigger a fire on one, and then we'll go and shoot the other, and vice versa, right? So 5 more seconds on the zone cap. Got some help, so it goes a little bit quicker there. And smoke screen's going to end soon anyway. Doesn't matter. We're 900 some points. They've only got 87 left here. I think that's probably, yeah, there's a fire on him. So I'm like, alright, we got a fire on him, so we'll shoot the Fuso now. And we get the fire on the Fuso. Great, we can just angle into the bullets, right? So it took minimal damage there. And Primal's either letting it burn or he doesn't have damage con, right? So that's kind of why I was like, alright, we'll alternate ships and just trying to be annoying and trigger fires on each one. But we get another fire on the Primal. See if we can steal a kill here. Fuso must have put his out, so he needs a fire. And then I was kind of like, alright, we might be able to get in torpedo range there. And then, of course, yeah, I think we, well, the points situation put us over the top here. Yeah, we reached maximum points. And again, almost 3,000 XP for that game as well. So we're going to go through the build for the Jervis. This is kind of how I've done all of this tech tree, right? So steering gears, aiming system, and concealment for the 3rd slot. You don't get propulsion mod as an option. It's not too bad with the destroyers. They seem pretty zippy. William Sims for more health, and then Vincent Mordoff for some better reload. If you're 100% free to play, my preference on who else to put on here would probably be, I always forget his name, but the French commander, I'll go and find him here. It's the French commander that does more HE shell damage, right? But you do you, like there's decent options, right? But yeah, this guy, right, I kind of think he is a good one to level up and use as inspirations in all sorts of different places because, well, destroyers, battleships, and cruisers increase HE damage, right? So, and then yeah, here's my selections here. Look at me now there. And then, I mean, you could pick some of these other ones, but I went with the perceptive, right? It gives us, the locator thing, right? And then unstoppable for the legendary perk is kind of my go-to with destroyers. There are a couple of rare exceptions out there, but thank you so much for watching my video all the way through, guys. I appreciate you, especially those of you that tend to like comment and watch on live stream and chat with me and stuff like that. It makes this a lot of fun, right? So I appreciate all of you. Thanks again. Make sure you're following the channel. I do Legends videos almost every single day. So if you are following, we'll see you guys tomorrow.